When I learned that I was accepted in a Nuin, I was both excited and curious. I got my acceptance on a road trip back from a music festival with friends. I remember it clearly. When I shared my news, everyone reacted similarly. None of them nor I had ever heard of anyone spending their first semester abroad, and although I was completely captivated by the idea of living in a different country, I was also nervous. I had spent the summer traveling everywhere with my friends. We had grown closer than ever before, and I didn't really know how I felt about leaving my home to go so far away. However, after being told I would be spending my first semester in London, I had no doubts. It was a place I had always dreamed of living in, a beautiful city with people from all over the world. On top of it being such an exciting city, it was also a city close to my family in Ireland. Having moved from Ireland to Indiana at the age of 8, I had relatives scattered all over Britain, including London. Although I would be making a big switch, I would be close to my childhood home, giving me an opportunity to reconnect with my old family friends. It was perfect. And although I had been to London when I was younger, this was different. I would be experiencing the city with so much more freedom and choice, shaping my own experience. Arriving on the group flight from New York on the day of check-in, I was nervous but empowered at the same time. I had recognized many faces from Facebook and met up with several friends I had made during orientation. I even found a friend to suffer through my fear of flying with in the airport. After landing in London and making our way from Heathrow to Nido, I finally discovered where I would be living for the next 4 months. Although I didn't apply for a single room, once I found out I would be living alone, I was excited for my own space, especially after spending my whole life surrounded by 4 brothers. My first priority was to learn my surroundings, spending the first 2 days familiarizing with my new space and meeting other NUN students. After spending my initial days meeting new people for my building, learning more and more about the program through orientation, and traveling bit by bit around the city, I started feeling more at home. I began learning my area, memorizing surrounding bus routes, and finding stores and people unique to my area. I began feeling this new space transform into my home, cooking meals with friends, and even dyeing one another's hair. I was creating new, unique, and funny memories in this space every day. I also felt that discovering my neighborhood was a key factor in truly experiencing the city. Although I technically live in Notting Hill, my building is not quite in the center, but on the edge in between 2 areas. This is one of my favorite aspects of my building. I am next to both Kensal Rise, an interesting street with Caribbean and Lebanese influence, and Notting Hill Ladbroke Grove. Being in this area allowed me to experience the world-famed Notting Hill Carnival firsthand. It was an experience unlike any other, making it one of my favorite weekends in London. Although the commute to school in other parts of the city was often arduous, I would not change the location of my building. It provided me with both a break from the city, a break into the city, and a route into an interesting and cultural pocket that I would have never explored otherwise. After fully exploring Notting Hill and Ladbroke Grove area, spending many initial weekends wandering down the famous Portobello Road and in and out of many shops around Westbourne Grove, even visiting the famous Coconut Man, I began spending more and more time in different parts of the city. I went to several concerts in Shoreditch in the city of London, visited numerous art exhibits and museums, and tried some of the best Thai food. I discovered interesting and kooky restaurants like The Breakfast Place and Hoxton Kitchens, but often found myself returning to Byron. I also discovered many different areas of the city with my Global Diasporas class. Our teacher, Atima, brought us to many places, including Golders Green, an affluent Jewish suburb with incredible pastry stores, and Edgware Road, a mainly Arabic and originally Lebanese area. She also brought us to Green Street, a really cool mainly Asian working class area out in the 3rd zone. Besides these class visits, I also visited some of the suburbs surrounding London, spending a weekend in Hertford with my cousins, and a few nights with old family friends in Ealing. I learned to appreciate both urban and suburban London, but mostly found my heart in the city.
Baby,
Although I only made small ventures, mostly to Ireland to visit my family, my biggest thrill about being in the center of Europe was the amount of concerts I would have never been able to see otherwise. Although I love Indiana, and it will always be my home, there were never many shows coming through. Many of my favorite artists probably don't even know where it is. Coming here, I was given an opportunity to see some of my favorite performers live and in intimate settings. I went to an art show called Inner City Ooze and ended up chatting with one of my favorite musicians, King Cruel, and even bumped into James Blake at his Plastic People concert in Shoreditch.
When attack when you're under, the spirits of punch in the clouds. Gonna be energy, enemy teams, up until now, 139 styles. And she's alone on the focus that she makes, just as long as the
One of my favorite experiences in London has been tutoring at Sion Manning Girls RC. This school, only 15 minutes from my building, was the key in helping me understand a different side of my community. Every Tuesday, I would go to Sion Manning and help certain girls with literacy tutoring. My partner, William, and I would tutor 3 groups of girls from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. In these 3 hours, we helped girls better their vocabulary and grammar skills. Many of the girls we helped came from houses where English was not the primary language. Making the switch between English at school and a different language at home was very challenging. Many of these girls came from Morocco and Northern Africa. Beyond Sion Manning, I also volunteered at a graveyard, cleaning and clearing some of the oldest graves in London. Not as scary as you would think. Although I'm sad to be leaving London, I have no doubt that I will return. The city has left an impact on me like none other. It has empowered me. I am not afraid of moving to Boston and meeting new people all over again. I am excited. London has taught me that I have more strength than I thought. Knowing I can thrive after such a drastic jump by making friends and exploring is an experience that will forever keep me confident and encouraged. Thank you, Nuin.